Thanks for tuning in. This is Sweet Cyclist. Today we're going to be looking at the FLR F-11 Pro cycling shoe. So here we have the FLR F-11 Pro shoes in their original packaging. I want to thank FLR for sending these out to be reviewed. This is a company you may or may not have heard of. At least being in the US, I haven't seen these in stores. They can be purchased directly through their website or other sellers. And they also sponsor a number of professional cyclists as well. As I mentioned, this is the F-11. This is white version. They also have a black version. I have the 10.5 here. Packaging wise, rather simple cardboard box. This one's taken a little bit of abuse just from shipping, but it has a nice reflective logo on here. Let's go ahead and open it up and review some of the specifications. This is a $100 shoe. This is not their cheapest shoe, but it's still a very entry level in terms of pricing. What sets this apart from other really kind of cheap shoes is instead of using Velcro straps everywhere, you get an ATOP dial here. This is very similar to a BOA dial in operation. One direction tightens, you rotate in the other direction to loosen. You have one Velcro strap on the bottom for a little extra security. They've also used a lot of their technology in their more expensive shoes and trickled it down here with their seamless upper body here. This is a microfiber design. If we look at the bottom, this is what they describe as their R250 nylon outsole. So it's not a carbon sole, but it has a standard 3-bolt design, as well as a look here memory eyelet for replacing your cleats. I'll actually link a video to this on how to use this. This is a feature I haven't seen very often, or I've actually ignored typically when I see it. We have also a ventilation hole here. Included with this is the 2 bolts, and these are for the Lokio cleats for that memory tab. And then a kind of standard little description of the FLR company here. Now let's take a look at the weight of the shoes. You might be wondering who cares about the weight, and I would agree. As long as they're not excessively heavy, it shouldn't matter too much. Let's go ahead and check one of them. And this is pretty sensitive depending on where you place it. 282 for the left shoe. And if we try the right shoe, you get about 280. So very slight variation between them. So now let's take a closer look at the fit and finish of the FLR F-11 Pro shoes. As we discussed, this is a entry-level shoe at $100 that looks a lot more expensive than it really is. You have the nice perforated side for ventilation. You have 4 large nylon meshed ventilation spots here as well as one underneath. The tongue itself has the same ventilation holes and is nice and soft. They describe this as a seamless microfiber design, although there is obviously a seam on the back where it reattaches. This is behind the footbed and you won't really feel it at all, which is great. And I think what really sets this shoe apart from others on the market, especially entry-level shoes, is you get this nice dial system. Typically you'll see 4 Velcros or ratchet designs, which are inferior to a dial design. You get a much easier and more comfortable fit with this. It's also really easy to do micro adjustments while you're riding. You don't have to worry about laces getting stuck in your shoe or the Velcro kind of coming apart. As the Velcro ages, you'll see it'll get dirtier and less reliable. Design-wise, it's very simple. They only come in white and black. I'm not sure why they don't offer other colors, as a lot of shoe companies are offering a pretty wide range of colors. You have this contrasting black and gray portions here, set off by the F-11 imprinted on here. You have the FLR brand name imprinted on the other side. The rear is very simple with the little seam and a little holes, little reflective elements here. The sole is the R250 nylon. You can't really flex it by hand, but looking at other models on the market from such as Specialized or Giro that have these nylon cheaper outsoles, this typically has a stiffness index of about 6. Compare that to the 14 that a carbon sole would have, and you'll definitely feel some flex with this, especially if you've ridden with carbon before. Unless you're a professional, I think for recreational riding or training, I don't think it matters as much. We'll see more of that once we get this on the road. So before we hit the road with the shoes, I wanted to show you what the ventilation looks like by shining a light inside the shoes. As you can see, a lot of light is let out, which means there's a lot of ventilation here. Those front 4 nylon meshed vents provide a lot of airflow, as well as the perforations on the side. Additionally, you can see on the toe pad, there's a little vent here that also lets in some air. Now, if we hit the road with these shoes, you can see me here riding with it on a about 45-degree day. I found them to be very comfortable. The seamless upper design means there's no edges or anything to cause any chafing on your feet. And even with wider feet as I have, going one size, half size up, I found them to be very comfortable and form-fitting like a knitted shoe would be. As far as the power transfer, because of the nylon soles, they are a little bit softer. So when you're riding, they do feel a little bit mushier. You don't get that direct feel. However, for training or even just day-to-day riding, I don't think it's that big of a deal, especially at this price point. And the fixtures, the closure system, the dials, I found to be really nice. Now let's compare the F-11 Pro shoe versus some other shoes on the market. What I've laid out here is a wide range of fixture systems and different price range shoes to illustrate why the F-11 is a good purchase. Starting on the left, we have a triathlon shoe. This is one of my original cycling shoes with a large Velcro strap. And this makes putting the shoe on and off very simple, but gives you less security. This is my city shoe. I believe it's a wire model. This is what you'll commonly see at the lower prices. You get the standard ratcheting style connection on top. And this is very easy to use, but more clumsy, and you can see a lot bulkier. It also has 2 Velcro straps, and as you can see, as these things age, they get pretty nasty and very difficult to clean. You also have this multi-panel construction with knitted portions on the insides for comfort, and these kind of thicker pieces on the bottom for more rigidity. What's becoming more common these days is the single boa dial with the Velcro. This is a specialized shoe. Costs quite a bit more than this. I believe we purchased this about $150, but that was on a discounted sale price. And what's interesting is if you compare this with the F-11, they're very similar. You have this very seamless upper body design, perforations for air ventilation, single dial design, and the single bottom Velcro. So they've done a good job of bringing the higher cost features down to an entry-level price. Of course, this has a carbon sole versus the nylon sole, which is one reason they're able to offer this at such a low price. What's actually very interesting is comparing the F-11 versus FLR's own FXX, which is their highest end shoe. This is a $250 shoe. And visually, they're quite similar. What they've done with the higher level shoe is they've added a little more ventilation, but the same seamless upper body for a very comfortable and smooth fit. They've gone with 2 dials instead of a single dial and ditched the Velcro on the bottom. This one also has their top of the line R500 carbon sole as well. But you can see they've really done the trickle down effect and brought what makes this shoe so comfortable and lightweight and brought it down to an entry level price. Now let's give the F-11 Pro a final rating. In terms of design, I would give it an A-. Although it has limited color choices, only available when black, it's a very premium and upscale design. It has limited logos, and the perforated seamless upper really give it a premium look. Closure-wise, it's great to see a dial here, so I would give that an A-. It lets you adjust the tension in increments, which is really great. Even though the bottom Velcro doesn't do much, I found the fit to be really great. I could adjust the tension on the fly. I do wish you could reduce the tension in increments instead of doing a full release. However, that's not really common at this price point for a dial system. Comfort-wise, it's definitely an A. Fits like a glove. It reminds me of a knitted shoe. And as someone with wider feet, I found there to be no pressure points or chafing. Finally, the value is definitely an A. At $100, there's a lot of features here. And even though it has a nylon sole and more limited distribution network, this is not a shoe you'll likely be able to find at a local bike store to try before you buy, especially if in the US. I think it's a really good value, and especially if you can pick this up on sale. this is definitely a bargain of a shoe that I would definitely recommend. Thanks again for watching this review. I hope you like the content and consider subscribing. You can follow us on Instagram at The Sweet Cyclist, as well as visit our website at thesweetcyclist.com for additional content. This is The Sweet Cyclist, reminding you to enjoy the ride.